Scanning my diary, I look for photo opportunities. My social life is non-existent, drying up as friends started a family or suffered a breakdown and quit their well-paid jobs. I had been so determined to keep a firm grip on my husband, dedicating my time to our relationship and avoiding people who disliked him, that by the time I finally looked up, they'd all moved out of London, fleeing to the suburbs or their hometowns, babe in arms, in pursuit of larger gardens and good state schools. Getting them into the city for a night out always proves impossible, so I can't rely on them for content unless I want my feed to be snaps of me covered in baby food and surrounded by women who belong to some sort of jolly club that my body doesn't seem to want me to gain entry to. Over recent years, my spare time has often been eaten up by Alistair's mother. Shopping, spa days, and taking on board her interior ideas without question. I'd longed for a maternal figure for so long that I had no qualms about accepting all of her invitations. Periodically, my own mother gets in touch, blowing up my phone with offers of lunches. She seems to struggle with the idea of us eating alone together, so I'm often lumped in with her agent or one of her famous friends. Lunch with Fiona Shaw, darling? Her solution to our fractured relationship is to sugarcoat everything with a celebrity. My mother is not a household name, but most households, when watching a Netflix show or, say, an old episode of Jonathan Creek, will exclaim, "There's, what's her name? Used to do the Cadbury ads in the 90s. And then scramble around for the title of a show they recognise her from, until their child Googles the cast and discovers that irate neighbour is played by my mother, who is most known for her performance in the Cadbury ads. Television never particularly warmed to my mother, bit parts drip-feeding in here and there, but she built a successful career on the stage, and it was there she collected the celebrity friends she tries to coax me out to lunch with. I've not taken her up on the offer since my 20s. Everybody agrees that I'm just like her. Family friends comment on how alike we look, how we have the same mannerisms. When I began to rebel as a teen, the sharpest, most venomous insult my dad could hurl as I slammed my bedroom door was, "There's a selfishness in you just like your mother." I've been desperate to prove him wrong ever since, to win his favour and that of any man who tried to write me off or put me in the same category as the woman who brought me into this world. Since abandoning us, a story my father happily stashes in his heartbreak arsenal, we've had a patchy relationship. She wrote often after her departure, sending gifts or photos of her new beginnings in London. As a child, I clung to those letters, cherishing the handwriting of the woman I was apparently so similar to. Not wanting to upset my father, I kept them hidden in a jewellery box she'd given me. It was lined with pink velvet, had a plastic ballerina spinning in the middle of it, and churned out a tinny rendition of Edelweiss. She popped back into my life briefly when I was 10. She was in a touring production of Hedda Gabler, and turned up one day at the school gates wearing a big green scarf and a feather cut. She gave me a gold locket, told me she missed me, and then my dad shooed her away with my book bag, chasing her up the road. She didn't write again after that. As I grew older, the reality of what she had done, accompanied by the understanding that the odd letter was not adequate parenting, slowly dawned on me. By the time I entered my teens and grunge era, I had no interest in rebuilding our relationship. Today I keep loose contact, taking the odd phone call, attending a lunch, but mostly I ignore her. I monitor the frequency of her messages. If I get 10 in relatively quick succession, I reply and ask her if she's dying. She has yet to tell me she is, so I respond with a simple, "Hope you're keeping well," and turn my phone off. My dad would never forgive me if I invested in a relationship with her. He still likes to ignore her success and tells people she ran off to be a stripper. I toy with the idea of taking up pole fit so that Callum's feed will be inundated with me prancing about in very little clothing, but decide that it will be too obvious and return my focus to old photos I could potentially pass off as new. Lingering over a picture of me finishing a half marathon, my phone trills with an alarm. At 11 p.m. each day, I allow myself 15 minutes to stalk my husband and his new girlfriend, searching for clues that suggest it's all gone to shit and he'll be letting himself in any minute, clutching flowers and a pre-scripted apology he's agonised over to win me back.